Today we have another match of the A Link to the Past All Dungeons tournament match. This time it's loser bracket round 3, Glan versus JoshRTA. Commentators for this match are Dao, TMB and Anders. Take it from here.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm Anders. This is my buddy Dao. How you doing, Dao?
I'm doing all right. Pretty excited for this one. Should be pretty good. Josh is very good, former world record holder. Glan pretty recently got a really nice PB, 111, 44, and should be pretty close between them.
Mm-hmm. Very much. Now we hit Glan is Glanimal, Prince of Pause Buffers, Flannelman. We're surely going to see some nice pause buffers out of him. Josh, on the other hand, Josh 125 runner, Animal Crossing main. Pretty strong, consistent runner, so we'll have to keep an eye on him too.
Yep, for sure. Big thing I expect to see out of this is that, excuse me, Josh is one of the better NMG runners, which is not to say that Glan is not also excellent at it, but Josh is, one of the best in the world. And Glan is one of the best in the world at kind of the stricter major glitches rule set. So it'll be interesting to see how, those two skill sets kind of compete with each other in this race.
Absolutely. Should be a very, very solid run. Of course, if you've been sticking with us for quite a bit of time, you'll know that these first two splits are kind of pretty standard. So not quite much to say other than time losses and memeing.
Yeah, there's really not too much interesting stuff going on here from a viewer perspective, really. They're going to mostly be doing small optimizations here. Probably going to expect their escape times, which is the first segment here, to be below 6 minutes and within 2 or 3 seconds of each other. It's just how the split tends to work out.
Well, we can always do what I normally do during these segments. And Dao, what's your favorite Halloween candy?
I don't know. Something with chocolate in it, I guess.
That's fair. That's fair. See how this first key guard goes for both our boys. Gosh, it's like we're just watching. I mean, at this point, these runners are so skilled that it's very close to mirror images in movement.
Yeah, I mean, there's some different things you can do here. This particular room, we're gonna avoid some guards. It's actually one of the harder rooms in this segment, and Josh does it a little bit better than Glan there. Probably, saved 10 frames or something like that over the way Glan did the room.
Just about, yeah.
It adds up.
Cyan, welcome. Please enjoy this speedrun. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer them. Dao is very, very smart on this game. And
I forgot that you can actually do that room too fast. It's possible. And then you miss the key like that. So that feels pretty awful.
I've been there.
That was excellent ball and chain guard from Josh.
I think he's done it once or twice.
Glan's was also pretty good. One thing there that you'll notice, small optimizations, Josh kind of hit the ball and chain guard closer to the door so that you would actually get the big key faster than Glan did. It saves, 3 frames or something like that, but it's one of those things that you just end up doing because this game is basically all about small optimizations. Not so much this category, but in general.
Yeah, this is definitely a particularly volatile category. We've definitely seen a lot of runners chip away at their time with a very minor time loss. I always say in these runs that I don't feel like the run really starts until after Helma Sword King, and then we really get going. Because up until then, it's just so up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, third split of this game, Palace of Darkness, is definitely kind of the wall for most people. Or just if you're going for PB attempts or something. We'll start that split about 10 and a half, 11 minutes in, but
hey, we got a fat host and raid from ZeldaSpeedRuns. Greetings, everyone. You were in the beginning stages of a Link to the Past All Dungeons Restricted Major Glitches run between Glanimal, Prince of Pause Buffers Flannelman, and Josh Real-Time Attack. Pardon me. Back to the action.
Yeah, so Josh has opened up a bit of a lead here. This is maybe bigger than we would expect for Escape, but like I said, Josh is extremely good at kind of the NMG or typical parts of this game, and I definitely expected him to take an early lead, because we won't really see much glitch action for the first 11 minutes. So
I've definitely noticed in some of the other Glan matches that I've commentated that he does have a slightly slower escape execution, but he really makes up for it in how precise his glitch execution is.
Well,
so
Escape is definitely the least important split of the run. Like
it is, but it's also the one that we see the most, whether it in practice or in runs.
I don't know about that. I mean, you do play it the most, but like, I imagine that for Josh, at least for me, at least, when I've played Escape a million times, my brain just shuts off for this. Like, I don't even notice it. So like, both of these runners have done Escape a million times, and I don't know.
Just going through the motions, probably.
Yeah. Which is pretty nice during a like race setting, because there's not too much you can mess up. Not really, so you kind of get the get all the nerves out, or at least some of them.
So now we'll see our runners. Oh, pardon me.
No, yeah, we're gonna see maybe our first glitch of the run. Maybe. I assume Glan's gonna go for it. I also assume Josh is gonna go for it. But you know, not everybody goes for this citrus here. Josh is going for it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it saves like 6 seconds if you get it really well, and 8 seconds if you get it basically perfect. We're going to try to get into a couple of specific pixels here, press a couple specific buttons, and it's actually going to wrap us around to the top of the map here.
Very nice from Josh.
Dungeon entrance, and that skips having to do this whole overworld section. Glan's was also excellent.
Oh my gosh. Prince of Pause Buffers, everybody.
Josh's was a tiny bit better because he opted to use sword buffers instead of select buffers. Sword buffers, your sword's out for 13 frames. When you open the select menu, it's more like 45 frames. So you do save a little bit of time with sword buffers, but you kind of have... they're not as strong, I guess. Easier to mess them up.
Does anyone here love Glan? I love Glan.
But yeah, yeah, it's pretty nice rooms from both of them there. Glan kind of messed up a little bit, fixed it first try. Our goals for this split are to get enough arrows to beat this dungeon and the next. We're gonna need something like, I can never remember, it's like 32 arrows or something like that.
Just about, yeah.
To beat both of these, or not quite, maybe it's like 30. It's a lot. Our arrow capacity is exactly 30, so we basically need every arrow here. Luckily, there are a ton of arrows in this dungeon, which is fantastic. We're gonna pick up basically all of them. And here on JoshRTA side, we're gonna see a damage boost to step on this switch.
An extra half a heart of damage, but still does it very nicely. Shouldn't be too big of an issue.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue here. Okay,
Mm.
so
Glands is an issue.
one heart is a tiny bit scary because there's an enemy that can do one heart to you if you're too fast. Being on half a heart is very scary, which is why Glan went for the heart there. Because we're going to have this cannonball room, which is very RNG, and we kind of have to get near-ish to some of the cannonball, like where they come from, and it can be difficult to react to that. So good on Glan for, playing it a little bit safe there.
Definitely like to see that.
So yeah, Josh just passed a room where you can be too fast. His movement there was actually like kind of, it looked like it was intentionally slow.
Not my favorite RNG to see in the cannonball room, but he does it well. Glands was nicer in my opinion.
So Josh didn't get arrow drops here, which is not very good.
He might have to get drop arrows in pod.
He will need some arrows in pod. Which ones
There's
you
a
choose to get?
chance he can get them from the mimics, right?
No. Not really. Because he doesn't have enough arrows to kill the mimics and still get the drop.
Oh, that's right. Well, I'm guessing drop arrows. Glan's arrow count looking a little bit nicer.
Glan's arrow count, excuse me, is good enough to get through this next split here. Still, if he does it perfectly, he'll end up with only one after the split, which is not great, not ideal, but it happens.
Yeah.
So here we got the boots.
They make it a speedrun.
Yeah, by quite a lot. And we're gonna pick up some bombs here. Bombs are really nice in this category. They let us clip through walls and blow open walls, both of which are kind of required. So, pretty awesome idea.
So we're gonna see Josh prep for this DMA. See how well it goes. Takes a deep breath and gets it perfectly. Love to see it.
Yep, that's just the first part of this little segment right here. Glan was a little low there. And
there we go. He saved it. That was when those green guards.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. I think he made it.
No, he's in the upper. So he's gonna have to do a little bit of weird stuff. But
gosh, when that camera breaks, that's important too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Josh went through the lower entrance here. Glan's gonna hop down and go right in there. Risking the old man here, gonna get the mirror. And also, pretty importantly, a save and quit spot, which we'll use a couple times throughout the run.
Yeah, this run does allow for save and quit, which is nice. Josh's taking a little bit of damage, but nothing too bad from those cabbages.
2 hearts here is... Being down 2 hearts is a little bit rough.
Oh yeah, because we're going to get the third from the Kiki.
Yeah, we're going to get this third from this bomb clip right here. Okay, great. There are backup hearts in pod here, but basically Josh is not allowed to take any more damage for the rest of this split, or else his boss fight is going to be a little bit scary. So Glan also getting beat up a little bit here.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good yeet to get into the mini molding.
Josh taking some extra care to pay attention to his bomb count. Oh no. Glan. At least he's right at the save and quit point, but that is unfortunate. Those mini moldrums can really bug you.
Yeah, so here you can see he takes the old man save and quit. That is really unfortunate. It's one of the reasons that, like, so this method that we use to get around Death Mountain is technically safer, but the boulders are still boulders, and mini moldorms are still mini moldorms, and you kind of sometimes get what just happened to Glan right there, which is really frustrating.
Yeah, you might want, but he's in a better hurt position now. Was that it? Yes. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't take the extra heart there, but I guess it doesn't really matter depending.
Missing 2 hearts here,
It's not the
gonna
worst
have to
because you
get-
can make them up.
well, you're gonna have to get at least 2 in Sexy Statue, and like picking up that one or picking up the third in Sexy Statue costs about the same amount of time. So it doesn't particularly matter which one you grab.
That makes sense. Let's see how Josh's hammer jump ends up. Double pixel perfect trick. Ooh, a lot of buffers today, buddy. There we go.
Now Josh has done pretty much everything important in this dungeon, so we're gonna head to the boss. There are 3 hearts on our way there, which will get us back to full. It's pretty important to be full hearts here because every attack the boss does 2 damage.
Yeah. This boss is scary.
And the boss can give you some pretty ugly pretty nasty patterns, and make it extremely difficult to avoid some attacks.
Even
plus,
at full
the way
hearts,
we're going to
this
try to
is
damage
tough.
the boss, yeah, with full hearts it's tough. But even with full hearts here, we kind of need to get right up in the boss's face, and sometimes that means you accidentally touch the boss, which, once again, 2 hearts of damage, so it's not always easy.
So we'll see how Glan does setting up this hammer jump. There we go. Very nice. Fun facts about both our runners. Not only do they both play A Link to the Past, they're both also very tall. That's a fun fact for you.
Josh had an okay turtle pattern there. Didn't
He saved it.
handle it exactly the same way, but he did save it.
Yeah.
It can be tough just because the hammer hitbox is bad. There's no
Yeah.
other way to put it.
But heading into the boss here, we'll see how he does. Opting not to have extended sword, which will make it faster, but oh. Okay, we're good. We're fine. I'm fine.
It's actually not any faster, but it is.
It makes it safer to me, is what I meant. My brain doesn't like words. Oh my gosh, that was a fight.
Excellent fight. Can't do it better than that.
You'd almost be surprised to know that he spent more time playing Animal Crossing than anything else.
But yeah, when you hold your sword out, Link moves slower, which can make it difficult to dodge Helmasaur's attacks.
But it does extend the hitbox of the hammer, which is very nice. Because we don't really have any anything that can save us with, like, the fighter sword can't really do any damage, and we really just need to be able to hit with the hammer.
What was an excellent turtle room from Glan.
Very nice. I mean, that was chef's kiss perfect. Alright, Glan heading in towards our least favorite boss. Not really, all of them are my least favorite. More on that later. Looks like very similar pattern to what Josh had. Very nice from him too, taking a little bit of a hit, but really doesn't matter.
Honestly, like, both of those fights were phenomenal.
Yeah.
The only problem with Glan's fight is he got hit once, so it's going to cost him 20 frames of refill, but, like, you'll take that.
Yeah. The numbering next to each person's name is their seeding for the bracket. You can learn more about the brackets. Brackets, I think? Is this the command? Thank you. Josh, fun fact, is a big fan of coffee, so he's using our coffee breaks strat here in this auto-scroller room.
I also got beat up a little bit getting into this dungeon.
Yeah.
Once on Death Mountain and then once by kind of the gatekeeper, meaning Moldorm there. 2 hearts here is a little bit scary. We're going to take 1 more heart intentionally in this dungeon with a bomb jump. And then just being on 1 health is always scary. So, okay.
I can admit, this is scary. I am scared. Is he going to just, probably not Death Warp, right? Nope.
He's not Death Warping here.
I didn't think so. I will say that I do believe that Josh believes in Winky and Moyai, so we're all right.
So he actually will need to get a heart before the bomb jump, which is...
There's 1, but it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous to get.
There's a good chance that it could go poorly.
He'll probably take this first part of this petting zoo room a little bit safe here, just to guarantee he gets the heart.
Because that's not good RNG right there with those buddies. All right, there we go. We're closer to the clear, but he also didn't hit the safety switch. Meanwhile, Glan decided that he was going to also have a coffee break. I don't know if Glan drinks coffee. Huh. I can tell you that Glan likes...
he doesn't seem like a coffee drinker to me, but...
He doesn't really, yeah. I guess I'll have to ask him. Glan is very picky. Alright, a 1 heart Moldorm fight, normally this would scare me a lot more. It still scares me quite a bit. But with the hammer, hopefully it won't be too bad.
Yeah, hammer, nice thing here is it takes 3 hammer hits as opposed to 6 sword hits. Really the big advantage of that is that Moldorm will never speed up.
Yeah, he has an enraged phase on his last hit point that, like, it's not quite doubling his speed, but...
It's a lot faster.
Yeah, it's a lot faster.
But
throwbacks to last year. My first run against Moldorm took me 56 falls.
I think we've all been there. Josh actually discovered that movement for that right there. Looks really weird, but it is actually the fastest way to do it.
And he'll tell you all about it, I'm sure.
So here what we're going to do, we are trying to get into the rest of Dark World here, which is where most of the dungeons are in this game. But Death Mountain kind of separates you, and so we just jump off. There's no real way off, so we make our own. So now we're headed to Thieves Town on Josh's side. This dungeon is not bad until it is, where you like get hit by enemies that only hit you some of the time, and then you get hit by them all. And pretty much everything in this dungeon does 2 parts. We're
slightly ill-equipped for it. I do want to point out that Glan had a very, very nice Moldorm fight.
Yeah. But our goal in this dungeon is to grab the Titan's Mitts, which are the strength upgrade, the biggest strength upgrade in the game, which is going to allow us to get access to Tempered Sword, which is probably the single strongest item in the game. And the nice thing is that the boss of this dungeon takes the exact same damage from every single weapon in the game. So our little baby sword right here doesn't hurt us at all.
I also want to just quick remind everyone that we have our trivia question of the stream coming up shortly. as soon as our first runner saves a maiden, I will read the question twice.
Yeah, so we're coming up here, bombing open the floor. It lets light down into a room below. Turns out that room's the boss room. Pretty nice. And we're going to bring this maiden to the boss room. And she hates light for whatever reason. And,
I mean, same. I've been in quarantine for 2 months.
Hey, I have my window open sometimes. You know, it's...
I do too. I've got this nice little farmer stand going on one half of my body where the window is. Because it's not pretty.
Nice combat room from Josh. Normally you won't see that done in NMG categories because the block that's blocking your way we can pick up. Glan getting bullied a little bit here in Hellway, but gets through it.
And now it's time for our Zelda trivia question of the stream. In A Link to the Past, we meet a catfish who gives us the Quake medallion. What is the name of the area that the catfish has made his home? In A Link to the Past, we meet a catfish who gives us the Quake medallion. What is the name of the area in which the catfish has made his home? You have until sorta.
Yeah, I would definitely go with Northeast Dark World myself.
That is not the correct answer. It has a technical name. I mean... Emo, you're banned. We're very, very close here, guys. We're getting some good questions, good answers.
Is this supposed to be answered correctly or as wrong as possible?
It's supposed to be answered correctly. Swamp Palace 2, this time it's not a palace. Darn it.
Well,
where does the catfish live? Wrong answers only. Alright guys, you all lost, though someone was very close. The answer is the Lake of Ill Omen.
Now that you say that, it sounds familiar. I never would have remembered that.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing now from Josh's side is kind of...
As you're making a good point there, by the way, Blind's a scripted fight. Well, Chalmers, that's why you're here, is to learn.
Josh not going for Frog Door after hardlocking there once already this tournament. Must have given it up. But what we're doing here, we're going to beat Skullwoods. It's in the northwest part of Dark World here. It's really out of the way. We're never coming back. We have no reason to ever come back. So we're doing it now. It's not the hardest dungeon, but it can be mean sometimes. So,
I feel like you can say that about just about every dungeon, though.
Well, some dungeons in this category are pretty easy. Like Ice Palace, there's nothing much going on there, aside from one trick. Swamp Palace, you're not worried about that dungeon at all. But like Skullwoods, you're not worried about it until you die. Or until you do this on Josh's side, and you take an extra warp portal, which is going to cost you about 8 seconds, just from dashing, a couple pixels too low. Also, getting the manual Starlight cancel. Glan is doing frog doors right here. There is hard lock potential. It's pretty low, but it is there. And he's good. Yeah, Skullwoods is hard because, once again, everything starts to do a ton of damage. Basically, everything in the dungeon is going to do 2 hearts to us, including the boss. And usually, like 70% of the time, enemy patterns are fine and you're not going to have any issues with it. But, like, that last 30% of the time, you might not get hit once, but 3 times before you even know what happened.
Worst room in the game. Oof. He got 1 stuck mummy, the false prophet. I do want to also mention that it is National Raspberry Tart Day, and fun fact, Glan hates raspberries.
How do you hate raspberries?
I guess we'll have to ask him in post-match interview.
But yeah, so far on Josh's side, enemies have behaved, right?
For the most part.
That's not good. Okay. He saved that. That Moldorm might hit him.
Yeah.
It did.
Unfortunate. I think I just turned. Go ahead.
I mean, he's down 3 hearts here. Normally you expect to be down 2 hearts, so it's like not a big deal. But I always kind of feel like once you get hit once in this dungeon, it puts you on tilt, maybe more than other dungeons. Or at least it does for me. Particularly if you get hit at the boss, which happens occasionally.
Lord, I've seen some moth fights lately.
The way these mummies move is random. So they kind of move towards Link. So you have to do a lot of reacting there. Glan does a great job dealing with those mummies. Yeah, Josh taking a safer strat here in Mummy Hellway. It loses like 15 frames, but it's pretty simple to execute.
I've just done quite a few safer strats lately, partially just banking on good execution to keep him in the lead.
Josh actually did that room as fast as you can do it, and if you do that, you get hit, which is obnoxious.
Glan messing up the bomb jump, but, you know, it happens. So he's going to be down 1 extra heart. I hate Mothula. Mothula's the worst. Okay, he makes it.
Okay. Not the greatest fight from Josh, but he didn't die, which is
that was a
nice.
Full clench moment for me.
So the way mummies move is similar to the way beetles move, where they move towards Link, but they turn or accelerate, in the beetle's case, like on a frame roll, I'm pretty sure. So it depends what frame roll you get.
The way I kind of like to think about it with mummies and a lot of things is that step 1, you're wrong. That's it.
So honestly, the biggest part of missing that bomb jump for Glan is he's going to be short a bomb here. This category is pretty tight on bombs. I know they're both at 7. I don't know if Glan... That's an excellent fight from Glan. So yeah, Skullwoods, like I mentioned, northwest Dark World, completely out of the way. It's the worst spot in the game in terms of getting there and getting out. So we just haven't quit out way fast.
Yeah, and this is one of my least favorite overworld segments, so...
We come up to Death Mountain. We need to grab the Ether Medallion, which we will use precisely once in this category. Hopefully.
You taskers.
we may see a surprise appearance in GT if things go exceptionally wrong. But
oh gosh, this is
no,
stressful.
you can speed clip this, Josh.
This
Okay,
is
he doesn't
called being stubborn.
Dead rocks are the best enemy in the game. Definitely.
Step 1, you're wrong.
When you get blocked like that, you lose about 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Really awful.
Which really stinks. Josh is having a really nice run. Unfortunately, since that moth fight, things have taken a little bit of a turn.
What?
Oh, wow, he has to reset it. Katy Perry is not good.
Cool Dead Rock. Yeah, so
Glan
on the by walking off screen, and then the Dead Rock got mad at him and just walked into him when it came back on screen. Excellent enemy.
I can hear Glan in my soul cursing that Dead Rock out. Like, I can hear it. I can feel it. Oh my gosh, what are Dead Rocks?
The worst enemy in the game.
Oof.
Alright, okay, so Josh has a bomb clip here.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's technically the fastest strat there. It's like 2 extra menus. So it's, I think it's the easiest strat. Doesn't mean it's the best or the best, I just think it's the easiest. It is the fastest? Okay.
So now heading into desert proper, things get a little bit easier for Josh for the rest of this segment.
Yeah, normally we enter desert with 4 or 5 hearts normally. But, you know, baby sword and the bow. Here we have, you know, level 3 sword and the fire rod, so nothing stands a chance. And it is pretty low stress because nothing hurts us in this dungeon. As opposed to most of the world where things hit for 2 hearts, everything in here is only going to hit for half heart. So even if you do get hit, it's not a big deal.
And that's one of the other nice things. It's like, hey, you know, the Lanmo is usually one of the most frustrating bosses in an NMG run, and here it's kind of like we're getting our revenge. That being said, I've seen quite a few Lanmoless get away recently.
Excellent clip and teleport from Glan.
Mm-hmm. Prince of Pause Buffers. I don't even know if he pause buffered, but he's still the prince.
Your pause buffering, boots clips might be an issue.
Yeah, but it's all about the nickname. You know, this is like our version of professional wrestling. Everyone gets a tagline.
Yeah, boots clips are done by pressing the dash button and a direction at the same time. Pause buffering would add just like an additional second to every time you want to tap the A button. Seems pretty slow to me.
No, it is. But it's all about the name. Let's see how Josh does fighting Lanmoless. Well, that's that.
Yeah, kind of an unfortunate pattern from the first one there. So the Lanmoless always spawn in a set location there, but where they jump to is completely random. And on the opening volley there, the first one jumping to the left, like you kind of have to make a snap decision. Do I go for it? Do I bail? It's hard to make. I think Josh got maybe caught a little between those two because he wanted to get the others, but he also kind of wanted to get the first one because it's faster. It's just tough when you get that pattern. And now Josh is starting what is, in my opinion, the hardest split in this run, the Mire segment. It's not really too likely that we die the way the health situation ends up working out a lot of the time here, but there are lots of ways to lose a bunch of time here. So Josh actually went for the fast Mire 2 strategy there, burned the Popo, which actually slowed him down. If you go for the slower strat, that can help sometimes because it's one fewer enemy you got to worry about, but with fast Mire 2, it's actually bad because you're waiting on the Popo to burn before you can leave the. So, in the famous words of Wayne, if you look at your torch time here, and it's sub 40, it's 110 pace. So, we can kind of use that to estimate this runner's paces here. Josh with a 40-25 torches time, assuming he closes out the rest of the game well, which is not a given. It's pretty tough. So, it's pretty solid 111 pace here from him, which would be an excellent time. So we have the big key. Yeah. And we're actually going to go back to the room we were just in. We want to get the hookshot in this segment. It saves, I've heard, between 20 and 40 seconds, and I don't know which one to trust, and I'm too lazy to time it myself. So I have no idea. But it saves a bunch of time. And so we're kind of seeing both runners in the same rooms here. Josh is going to grab this magic refill. And then we're going to actually clip into Hera, which does not have the hook shot.
That's
but
true.
that'll let us get in the swamp, which does have the hook shot. Glan
That is also true.
41-35 torches, so about 70 seconds between them. But Glan, assuming everything goes well, on like maybe high 111, low 112 pace here.
But just remember, any run can be a 125. Ooh, that was smooth.
Fantastic sword clip from Josh.
I also want to point out that this is a winner-takes-all match. Whoever wins this match will go forward in the tournament to go up against Zelda in the loser's bracket. Whoever does not win this race will have something fun to do, I'm sure.
So now we'll see on Glan's side the same. Glan opting to not use the bonk setup. It's just gonna try to stand on the right pixel, which he does.
And he does.
Excellently. That saves about a second or so. And now we'll check his clip here. That mini Moldorm is
A jerk.
obnoxious.
I think he's related to a dead rock.
Probably. But aside from getting bullied there, pretty good clip from Glan.
Notice how I'm ignoring both of you, because I'm tired of that. On the other hand, Glan is heading towards the hook shot. And we'll see how Josh does setting up this spooky action glitch.
Setting it up's the easy part. We're just going to throw that block away.
That's right. Set that altitude variable.
This room right here, we're going to do a little dash buff before placing the block. It maintains that altitude variable. That room's actually really tough for me without a pause buffer. Just done it with the pause buffer forever. But here comes the tricky part. We're going to need to do a fire rod dash on these anti-fairies.
Nope.
Missed it twice. Just decided not worth it. So normally what we do is we would actually skip that room that Josh just went into. It saves like 8 seconds or something, maybe like 6. I forget exactly how much, but not insignificant. So that could be a time, could be something Glan makes up here. And now we're fighting the boss, which is kind of intimidating at first. We're going to intentionally walk into this, take a bunch of damage on purpose, but
That's
it's actually
nice.
much safer. And once you've practiced it, also much easier. So, fantastic fight from Josh there. So Glenn right here has a shot to make up quite a few seconds on Josh. Gets the cane broad dash, whatever, and that's exactly what you see. Lot quicker to do that.
See how his video fight goes. Meanwhile, we'll see exactly how Josh is heading toward... Well, actually, it's Swamp Palace, so never mind. I'm getting my order confused.
Wow. Okay, so that enemy is like not spawned in, but is, I don't know how it works, but sometimes he just hits you from under the water, and yeah, it does 4 hearts.
It's very
I don't know who
annoying.
designed that enemy, but 4 hearts is absurd. But yeah, Josh actually got the clip over the wall there before the Zora shot, which is really fast. Great for him. Josh is going to try to beat the anti-fairy here, and he does it. That saves 20 frames and is incredibly difficult. So shoutouts to Josh. Now, Swamp does have 2 relatively not easy tricks still left in it, even though the dungeon itself is going to be pretty easy now that we already have the dungeon item, the hook shot.
Yeah, we can skip half of it. Glan having a little bit of trouble with this clip here. Doesn't help that Dark World Zora.
Okay, gets it there.
I can again feel for Glan there. Hear him in my head.
First tough trick, yeah, coming up here on Josh's side, it's going to be, what is it called, Diver Down or something?
Diver Down or Holy Diver. He's had some trouble with this in the past, so it'll be hopeful. There we go. Much cleaner than his last run, honestly.
Really well done. That trick requires a couple of 1-frame inputs. Not the easiest trick out there.
That is true.
Even though 1 frame down, for whatever reason, feels easier than all the others, except for when you're doing that trick, and then it's impossible. And the second kind of tough trick coming up on Josh's side is Zero Cycle Argus, which is not even 100%. Like, some RNGs you can't get it, but this looks good. Yep, great job from Josh.
Yeah. Very nice.
6 seconds. And is tough.
What boss fight? There was no boss fight. I blinked. Now,
Glan is really short on arrows here. Is going to need... That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's annoying. Those
You need
berries,
both
I
arrow
swear.
pickups. Josh actually has just enough arrows to get through the rest of the game, so he didn't need any pickups. I think that was 2 frames on Glan's side. It's like if you do a 2-frame movement there, then it doesn't work, which is annoying because it's a 60 FPS game, so you can only press a button for 1/60th of a second, right? That's nothing. And if you press it for 2, then the trick doesn't work. It's just like, man, why do we put up with this? Now Glan, I think Glan goes for 0 cycle. He's definitely good enough to
I
get
believe
it.
he does, yeah.
Josh is going for the mirror wrap here. He does not go for 0 cycle.
No 0 cycle. And point out a very nice gold on Josh's side for his swamp segment.
So yeah, that spin attack is what we're avoiding by going for the 0 cycle here. Great mirror wrap from Josh. And yeah, it's like 6 seconds. And if you get any extra movements, every movement from Argus is about 2 seconds as well. So Glan had, I think, 2 extra movements there. So it's actually closer to 10 between like a 0 cycle and kind of getting beat up a little bit there by Argus. Pretty significant.
Heading into the Icebreaker Room, another one that's a newer glitch that's been discovered. Has a little trouble setting it up. There we go.
I think he had it correctly and then just hit the wrong button.
Yeah. He had some trouble with it in the past. I've seen quite a few runners have some issues with Icebreaker. Being so new, it's not surprising, but...
That's another trick that requires a few 1-frame inputs. Just one, actually. Still, one frame input is one too many, so kind of annoying.
To quote my friend
Excellent.
Dow, not the easiest trick in the book. Pardon me, I have a little tickle in my throat. Glan prepping for this mirror crap.
A little bit low there, so
Yeah.
trying to stand a specific pixel so that you can kind of be exactly 1 pixel from the transition. Because what we're doing there is we're moving into the transition and mirroring on the same frame. So once again, same frame. Same frame is easier than 1 frame. I don't know why.
Very nice cold stare fight from Josh. Now for one of the toughest portions of the run, swimming. But first, a cutscene.
Swimming is difficult because it doesn't behave the same way as any other. You can see Glan going for the 1-frame movement there.
There you go.
Yo, nice one. The way Link moves in this game is you press a button and he moves in that direction unless you're swimming, and then he does it like a second later. So it's really weird to kind of swim well.
Another fun fact about my first playthrough, I didn't realize that you could press a button to swim faster.
You press buttons to swim faster.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that you could... I was just holding directional buttons. Yeah, I'm that guy.
And that's fine. It's like not significant. And also the hard part about swimming is that the walls are not where they appear to be. Their hitboxes are much bigger.
That felt like a pretty nice swim on Josh's side, other than walking into an Octorock.
Never seen that Octorock RNG. So yeah,
Decides
Josh,
to keep it safe. Oh, Josh, what are you doing?
Pressure bomb. This is fine. Not good, but it's fine. Alright.
He's gonna need one more bomb for the run, though.
The bomb he can pick up in Turtle Rock if he so desires. And there's also... He technically has enough bombs to get through GT. You don't need any going in. But it feels awful to have 0 bombs going into GT. So this is our last Hera clip here. We're going to use this to get into Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock is... I don't know. I think it's easier overall, aside from
I would
getting into
definitely say that. Like, once
getting
you're in, I mean, we're skipping some of the worst rooms in that dungeon in the entire game in this category.
That was pretty much perfect mirror rap from Josh. Like, can't do much better than that.
Well, maybe you can't, but I really... Good laser skip. Now Josh coming up against the mini-boss.
Pause buffering for that helmet makes a lot of sense. It's definitely the most irritating enemy in this dungeon.
Glan getting a mild bully from that exploding whatchamacoozy.
Yeah, we see here gets the what Josh was going for, and then once he messed it up, he decided not to go for it.
Very nice crystal roller room.
Yeah, so the thing is, we come into this dungeon not on full health. Normally, we try to save a fairy for this dungeon. Hopefully, we'll get the fairy, but it's not that big a deal. The thing is, if you do happen to get hit, almost everything in this dungeon does 4 hearts. And the things that don't do 4 do 3, which is just like... you can't afford to get hit, is the thing. So even though it's not technically the
fairy drop
or execution heavy, it does have a tendency to go very wrong. Also a pretty good mirror up on Glan's side.
Yeah, very. Mini boss part 2, Electric Boogaloo. He just avoids it.
Glan was actually a little bit low for that first laser skip attempt. Josh does get the bomb here in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, good to see. See how Glan having good luck with that mini boss. Meanwhile, Josh heading into Trinex. Fun fact, Trinex is called Trinex because he has 3 necks. Don't forget, you're here to learn.
Well, okay, Josh gets out of it. Normally, yeah, I'm not worried about really strong runners like Josh or Glan here run out of magic on Trinex. But I guess it can happen. And I think Josh had the... Yeah. You don't need to pause to switch the, your item there, because we're going to save and quit after this dungeon. But it's just like a muscle memory thing. See on Glan's side, he gets the fairy drop. Now let's see if he knows True Blue's tech. Is he going to tap A? He's not going to tap. Oh, he's going to pause. Does the same thing. Good job, man.
Pause buffers.
I didn't even realize he wasn't menued to mirror yet. So yeah, actually when you get bunnied there, we have 2 ways of kind of unbunnying ourselves. And the first is with a pause, which it'll play the unbunnying animation while you pause, or you can tap A and it will let you move while the unbunny animation goes on. So pretty neat.
Josh kisses the old man.
That's about a 5-second time loss, I think.
Ooh, Glan.
Okay. Well, Glan has 3 rod shots, I think. He only needs 2 to beat this boss. But the Ice Head likes to move.
Oh, no. That
really
is very frustrating.
The thing about Trinex,
Other than his 3 necks.
other than his 3 necks, when it goes well, you don't even notice, right? But when it goes bad, you realize these heads actually move a lot faster than I thought they did. And then you kind of panic, or I don't know if Glan panicked. I panic. And you whiff rod shots. And it's really
Second
rough.
attempt was very nice. Meanwhile, Josh making his way through the teleport maze of Ganon's tower.
It's not really much of a maze. Pretty much every teleport brings you to the same spot.
You know,
So, like,
I'm doing my best.
it's just funny the way the teleports work out. Here we're gonna fight ice almost. It's pretty much the same as the first Armos fight, except you slide.
Armos on ice. Ooh. Nerves.
Okay, well,
Nerves. This is gonna be fun.
It's supposed to be pretty much the same. Okay, so the kind of bad thing about this, aside from the obvious time loss of this being much slower, is that Ganon is gonna be a little bit weirder than we anticipate. Not that I think it'll affect Josh too much, given we'll have 14 hearts going into the fight, but it is something to be aware of. Also frustrating because taking damage there means you have to arrow that switch instead of beaming the switch.
Yep.
A tiny bit slower, but B, also use arrows, and our arrow count's actually pretty tight for this dungeon. But yeah, GT, pretty demanding dungeon. Most of the rooms have pretty tight execution, like the one Josh just did. He got hit. That's not end of the world, obviously, but you want to get through without getting hit. And then all of Gauntlet here can be pretty tough. So this is why you really want arrows, is so that you can, if those 2 enemies on the right there walk down, you can arrow them instead of having to kind of chase them with your sword, which gets kind of dangerous on the conveyors. But Josh has clearly done the gauntlet a million times and gets through it excellently.
See how Land Mode 2 goes for Josh. Hopefully better than the first. It was. Good to see.
Yep, I'm gonna use the King of Samaria here to blow up 3 Wizrobes at the same time, because we don't like Wizrobe. And then we're gonna use the King of Samaria to blow up 3 more Wizrobes at the same time. Pretty neat.
Just looks so cool.
I don't know if that pixel Josh was on actually is a safe pixel on the bridge, but
It was not. That is a pixel that I've seen be very dangerous before. If I'm being quite honest.
They're all very dangerous. Some are just...
Yep. Some of them are less dangerous.
Josh should go for this key. He's not going to. Oh wait, he already got the... I missed it.
You got the torch key.
I remember Josh yelled at me. He's like, "Don't get the torch key's good." I just missed it. He said, "Don't ever get this key in this room because it's very slow in this category."
Are you trying to imply that JoshRTA is opinionated?
I don't think I'm implying it at all. I think I'm just outright saying it.
As long as we're on the same page here.
We got pretty solid GT so far from Josh. We have one last
Duty
one
to
last
fight.
thing to get to. That is the Aghanim 2 fight, which good luck. We need to hit him 6 times. We can hit him 3 times in each phase, maybe, kind of, sometimes. Or 1, because you get bad patterns. 2, that wasn't bad. Yeah, and then you get blue balls like that, which just make it impossible. However, this one right here,
There we go.
guaranteed to get an extra ball. So you can
Meanwhile,
play kind of a different.
Glan hanging out in the gauntlet. Finishing it up with G5. Let's see how that goes.
Pretty good, all things. Pretty
Yeah.
good. Oh.
Lambo
Now-
2.
Okay, Josh does remember not to fall in the hole.
Has anyone done that since brackets started?
I don't think so.
I believe it happened once or twice in groups.
It's one of those things where you do it once and then you kind of hopefully never do it again.
Yeah, definitely.
Just normally after beating GT, you have the mental, your brain's telling you, hey, go down the hole. But if we do that, we will not have completed all of the dungeons. We have 1 left right here, which is what Josh is in. It's pretty easy. Basically, everything dies in 1 hit, and you're not really at risk of dying here. But it's still the worst dungeon in the game because we have to deal with Aghanim.
Yeah, having all the RNG at the end like this is, I think, and you and I have kind of talked back and forth about this. I think it's really frustrating, just plain and simple.
It is my personal least favorite thing about this category.
Yeah. See how Foreman's Basement goes for Josh over here. Very good. Barely even aggroed the second red.
Glan hovering.
Glan hovering.
Saves like 3 seconds.
He's just showing off now.
But yeah, Josh entering this Aghanim fight after a 30-second long cutscene, where we're gonna sit through another cutscene that's anywhere from about a minute to 2.5, just depending on what the game gives you. Glan getting bullied by the blue balls from Aghanim here. It's not good.
Oh, that's not a good setup. Yeah. Poor buddy.
Every blue ball that Aghanim gives you in this one costs about 6 seconds. With the 3rd, 7th, 11th, and 15th costing you an extra 6 seconds, which is really obnoxious. Josh is currently at 2, and every time you get that 3rd one, you kind of roll your eyes at the game. You're like, come on, couldn't have just given me 2? I'm going for a little bit of a scarier mirror placement there, but it is faster. Now we have one last thing to mash through, and then we can enter the Glan fight.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted by what the heck is happening in chat right now. Goodness gracious, you people. Dropping into the Ganon fight is Mr. JoshRTA.
We have one more big glitch to get through in this run. That's Torch Glitch, which is going to happen at the start of Phase 4 of this Ganon fight. Phases 1 and 2, we need to get 12 hits on Ganon. And I can't count to 12, so I have no idea if Josh got it. But there's those funky bats we were talking about, and...
Yeah, they kind of got him there.
Either forgot, didn't care, or didn't know what to expect there, and got hit twice. I would honestly expect he didn't care.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's also just nice to hug the pig a little. Make sure you don't have sword beams mess you up.
So in Phase 4, he gets Torch Glitch and lands on perfect timing there, so hopefully we get this done in exactly 4 torch lightings. I would expect it out of Josh, and getting one early spin like. You can get 3 spins per torch lighting here, 12 total. And I'm pretty sure this is the last spin.
Yep. So get your GGs in chat, and we will see JoshRTA assumedly coming in with a new PB.
This is not a PB for him. I don't think. I would be very surprised if this was a PB for Josh.
Oh, we'll have to find out. This is not a PB. Sorry, I don't know. I'm just going based off his splits, friends. No need to jump.
No, Josh likes to compare against his last run a lot of the time.
Shows what I know. Meanwhile, Glan is heading head-to-head against Agnum 1.
Always frustrating when 2 runners don't get into Agra 1 at the same time, because you just like...
My heart rate appreciates it.
Get through the blue balls twice.
And hopping into the Ganon fight after this cutscene.
Hopefully we'll see the same out of Glan here, although hopefully Glan will avoid the bats.
Very true. Can you guys calm down for a second, please?
Alright, Glan gets through the first 2 phases. Exactly 12 hits. Actually, he did like 13 hits in the phase 2, because why not? You have time for it. Go for it. Sure.
I never stop. I never stop swiping until I know, because I don't really know how to count it yet.
Ganon is sometimes worse than Aghanim. Honestly, we're already up to 6 warps. Not often, but sometimes. Alright, so that was only 7 warps, which is only like 15 seconds of time loss. Totally uncontrollable. Excellent boss. Gets torch glitch. Great job, Glan.
Meanwhile, we are joined in the race room by JoshRTA. GG's Josh.
Hi, thank you.
How you feeling? What you got to say? Very nice run.
I feel pretty good about that one. A 111 is good enough to beat just about everyone, potentially. So I feel pretty good about that one. It's been a while since I've gotten a 111 still.
Well, your next run will be against Zelda, so we'll have to see if that's good enough to pass through that.
Yeah, it would be good enough to beat his last run.
Yeah.
But he's capable of much better, so I don't know. I'll just
we'll see.
I'll accept what happens.
Glan blows up a pig.
Got Siberian. Can you just ban Cheesequito real quick for me?
Gosh, honestly, I don't know. Josh, you were watching with us, right? More or less.
Yeah. I was following the chat, and I
Oh my
was following
gosh,
kind of what was happening.
this chat was wild. So, any other thoughts during this run? Some really good maneuvering from you.
Yeah, I had a few really good segments. Swamp was really good, and a couple other segments went really well. I had a few bad ones. Ganon's Tower was pretty bad with the Ice Hormose mishap.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of time.
Did you remember that when going into Ganon that the bats would be?
Yeah, I remembered. Fortunately, in this category, it doesn't really matter because you have so many hearts. If it was NMG or something, I would have been in a much worse situation. But in this category, you can afford to take 2 or 3 fire bat hits. No problem, really.
And then I believe we were joined by Glan. GG Glan. Thanks for hanging in there for that.
Thank you.
What are some of your thoughts on the run?
I hate everything.
Aw.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what you would say. But hey, good on you for sticking through it. Some really nice maneuvering, really nice stick-to-itiveness.
I had like 2 good segments, and everything else was pretty bad.
With this category?
Yeah, this category.
And strangely enough, the good segments were Skull and Mire, which are 2 of the hardest segments.
Okay, yeah. I heard something happened with your DMA, but
Yes. You just
Yeah, I
got
quick
bullied.
hopped when I wasn't supposed to, and I went diagonal.
Oh yeah, that.
Okay.
And then your yeet also got a little bullying.
What was the...
Yeah, I died in Kiki Skip.
Yeah. But so Glan, with this, you're gonna be turning more towards LAS, I believe, for Voidathon, which is your next big thing.
Yes.
Excited for that? Want to tell us a little bit about it? What your plans are there?
Gonna do a lot of practice of Hundo
Okay.
in the upcoming weeks. I don't know what else to say.
Dow did have another question for you, right, Dow?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you hate raspberries?
They taste awful.
All right. Well, you're okay to have wrong opinions, I guess.
So back.
Glan's food opinions are all really, really quality.
So back to the race. I mean, it was really nice. A lot of really great execution. So thank you both for that. Dow, do you have any other thoughts on the race? Any questions for our runners?
I'm glad I don't have to race Josh next week.
Runners, do you guys have any additions that you'd like to put in here for us?
No, not really. Just it was fun. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you, Glan.
All right, and if
I think
with
it
that,
was a fitting run to lose out of the tourney with.
all right. Well, we'll be here for more 80 action, and I hope that though you may not be running another run in this one, Glan, that you'll maybe join us up in the comms booth every once in a while. And
Yeah, I'll try to do that. It's kind of tough with full-time work, but
trust me, I get it. And with that, thank you both for running. I'm going to hand it back to our lovely restreamer.
Alright, and with that, we have one match of the round 3 matches left. It will be later today. Greenham versus Kesnode. And then we have to wait for the scheduling of round 4. So, congratulations to the runners, and thank you Dow, TMB and Anders for commentating. Give all those a follow. And see you later on A Link to the Past again. And right now we are heading to another 2D Zelda. We have the Minish Cap weekly. Just to make sure I say the correct thing, we have the Minish Cap Randomizer weekly over on CSR. See you soon for more Link to the Past as well.